Oh my gosh, it looks so much better. How gorgeous. Hi, today I wanted to share a little peek into the way I edit. I'm actually gonna do it on my phone, even though I'm at home right now. I do this a lot when I'm on the go, if I had to travel for a wedding or things like that, using the Lightroom mobile app. So let's hop in. So here we have a photo of my beautiful bride, Caroline, who is just rocking this Hayley Paige dress. So first thing I wanna do is straighten this guy out. So you need to click the crop button, and you just kind of move this until it's straight. I always use either the horizon line or something that has a straight line in the background of a photo, like this door, for instance. There we go. Next thing I want to do is touch on the exposure because it looks a little dark here, and the way I edit is very bright and poppy. So we're going to pull up the exposure. Great. The next thing I usually look at is contrast. However, I don't always use the contrast slider first. I'm always going to use a tone curve. And let me show you how to do that. You'll click the curve button, and you want to make this diagonal line into an S shape. So I always put 2 points somewhere on that line, and then you kind of play with it until you like how it looks. This photo already has a decent amount of contrast, so we're going really subtle here. Okay, now you'll see the highlights blew out a little bit, so I don't want those whites to lose all their details, so let's pull the highlights back down a bit. That looks good, and maybe we'll add a little bit more contrast with the contrast slider. Great. Next thing we want to do is all my photos, I always add a little bit of sharpening to make sure it's really crisp. That looks good. And I am a crazy person about color, so I usually spend most of my time in the color tab. So for this one, I'd love to add some warmth, glow up her skin a bit. Oh, that looks good. Okay, so there's a lot in here. You can adjust vibrance and saturation. Tint is basically how magenta or green something's looking. But what my favorite thing is this mix tool where you can isolate one color and just adjust that one color in the photograph. So for me, these greens look kind of yellow. I know that sounds silly, but that's how I feel. So we're gonna pull that hue over towards the green side a little bit, and I'm gonna brighten them up too while I'm at it. Love it. This yellow, I'm gonna make it a little more towards the orange side. Want it to feel warm, not green. Yeah, right there seems good. And then her skin tone, I just want it to be a little more glowy as well. And one thing you'll notice here, something interesting is happening in this photo. So the top half of the photo looks really glowy and warm, but in the bottom half of the photo, there's a plant that's casting a shadow on the bottom half of her dress and causing the dress to kind of look more cool tone, with like blues rather than those warm yellows. So one of my favorite tools in the Lightroom app is the Selective tool. So we'll tap that here. You click the plus button, and there are 3 types of different selection tools: the brush, a radial, or a linear. This time, since I'm using it on half the photo, we'll just use the linear one. And you just click at the bottom, and you're gonna drag it up to about where you want the edit to apply. So it's only gonna apply where that red is there. So I'm gonna take the color slider and bump up the warmth just on the bottom half of the photo. So it's not affecting anything on the top half. And maybe even the exposure just a little bit, since that plant is giving it a little too much shadow. Awesome, and now you can see the amazing before and after just by holding on the screen. Oh my gosh, it looks so much better. How gorgeous. You can save it right here to your camera roll. Perfect. Wasn't that easy? It was so quick, and it looks way better now. For my next video, I want to edit one of your photos. DM me one of your pictures and we'll make it better together.